once we achieve the desired outcome, now what? Bring on the pizza and ice cream. Woohoo! JK. Do you struggle to maintain weight loss but desperately want to feel good in your own skin, confident in your clothes, and improve your overall health? If so, you're home. Hey, I'm Sam. I'm an elder millennial, dietitian, specialist in weight management, and former functioning fat girl. I learned how to win at weight loss by breaking free from diet culture PTSD. My mission is to marry the science with practical, real-life strategies because we all know if it's not realistic, it's not happening. Are you ready to ditch diet culture and learn how to win at weight loss? Grab your water bottle and let's go. Friends, are you stuck? Do you feel like a weight loss failure? You need a breakthrough session. I'm so happy to be offering a 1-hour, one-on-one coaching session that I call the Winning at Weight Loss Breakthrough Session. This session is designed to break through the barriers holding you back from finally winning at weight loss. We dive deep into your current weight struggles, what's holding you back, and what your bags are, your big, hairy, audacious goals. You'll learn what the most practical, tactical, and realistic steps are you can implement immediately to finally break through and start achieving sustainable weight loss. You'll receive a completely customized game plan designed just for you, the recording of our session to keep forever, and an accountability follow-up 1 week later to see how it's going. This is such great value that I only have 10 spots per month available. Go to bit.ly/win at weight loss now to book your Winning at Weight Loss Breakthrough session. Stop spinning your wheels trying to throw spaghetti at the wall, pun totally intended, to find something that finally kickstarts your progress. Get your customized game plan and start winning at weight loss now. I can't wait to meet you. That's bit.ly, B as in boy, it.ly/win at weight loss now. bit.ly/win at weight loss now. Okay, let's hop into today's episode. Hey, how we doing today? If you've been here before, welcome back. And if this is your first time, welcome to the More Than a Number podcast. I'm Sam, and I'm so grateful you're here. I always joke that I came out of the womb on a diet. I've been fighting the good weight fight my entire life, and over the years, it seems like just when I feel like I've got it all figured out, new struggles pop up and I have to reevaluate what I'm doing and how to move forward. This is the second episode of a 3-part series. We are talking about expectations and how those expectations can totally sabotage our weight loss and weight maintenance efforts. If you missed last week's episode or are brand new to the show, go back and give it a listen. We talked specifically about expectations and comparison throughout the active weight loss process. And today we're talking specifically about weight maintenance, what happens after we've lost. So this may really freak some people out, but it's 100% accurate, and I'm always going to keep it real with you guys. While weight loss is by no means easy, it's not the hard part. I know, crazy. Losing weight is not the hard part, or should I say the hardest part. Keeping it off is the real challenge. As many of you know, I was nearly 400 pounds and had gastric bypass surgery in 2007. Long story, probably not short, if you know me. I lost a ton of weight very quickly and then was kind of faced with a real rude awakening in the years after. I realized that despite my anatomy being changed through surgery, it was still really easy to regain weight. It was that awakening that got me interested in nutrition and led me eventually to going back to school and becoming a dietitian. I realized I didn't know crap about crap on how to properly take care of myself and since I chose to have surgery to improve my quality and length of life, I should probably figure it out, right? So next month, March, is going to mark 19 years since my surgery. 19 years! I quite honestly cannot believe it. Mostly because I can't believe I'm old enough to have had surgery 19 years ago. Some days it feels like it was just yesterday, and other days it feels so completely far removed from who I am now that it seems like a completely different lifetime ago. But with every year that passes, I learn so much personally and professionally about the wonderful world of weight maintenance. It's lovely. The challenges I face now are different than the challenges I faced 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and so on. And the same is true for you or for anyone. Our bodies are constantly evolving and changing. We have to learn to be adaptable and patient with ourselves and our journeys. I'll be 45 this year. My goodness. And no matter how much I heard people talking about perimenopause a few years ago, nothing prepares you for it. Nothing. Some days I feel like I can conquer the world, and some days feels like pure torture just to complete one simple task. Please tell me I am not alone here. Where are my peri girlies? Okay, so I'm going to go over some of the most common expectations we have for weight maintenance, and then I'm going to explain the science of what's actually happening during maintenance and kind of bring it all together for how we can shift our mindsets to help us rather than sabotage us. Sound good? Okay. One of the things I find fascinating is how many of us think that like once we lose the weight, we will then become one of those people who are just naturally slim and seem to be able to eat anything and not gain an ounce. Wouldn't that be amazing? Trust me, I wish it were true also, but it's just simply not. Especially if we're talking, more than just a few pounds. The disease of obesity is a chronic, reoccurring disease. We don't just become a completely different person in no way predisposed to obesity just because we lost the extra weight. And, expecting to not have to, quote unquote, worry anymore is setting us up for failure, and failure fairly quickly. There is no done. Most of why going on these kind of extreme diets don't really work in the long term is because if you're going on something that's not sustainable, you're eventually going to come off of it. And then what? If it's not a pattern of eating you are comfortably able to follow for the rest of your life, then it's probably not something you should do, unless you don't care about regaining the weight. And I find it very hard to believe that there's anyone that loses a significant amount of weight with the intention to just go ahead and gain it all back. Now, as far as calories are concerned, yes, once we achieve our desired weight, we graduate out of a calorie deficit and we're able to increase calories into a maintenance range. However, and this is a very, very big however, maintenance calories does not mean as many calories as we want. I swear. It sucks, but I swear. A proper calorie deficit for healthy, sustainable weight loss is approximately 500 calories, meaning however many calories your body needs to fuel your current weight and activity level minus 500 calories. So this is per day. More aggressive attempts could decrease upwards of 750 calories. But typically, more than that is not ideal, mostly because it's just not sustainable. Once again, the key word, sustainable. It's also very hard on the body, the cardiovascular system, and the mind to lose a lot of weight very quickly. By the way, quick sidebar here. I know some people will point out bariatric surgery and even today's family of weight loss meds and say, but hey, they produce rapid weight loss, so why can't I just cut my calories more drastically and get the same effect? Well, it's a very easy explanation. There are very distinct physiological changes that's happening in the body after surgery. We don't just make the stomach smaller and that's how you lose weight. I say we, by the way, like I'm a surgeon. So we don't make the stomach smaller, but these are metabolic surgeries. So the stomach being smaller, yes, is part of it. But there's an entire shift in the body's digestive hormones and how they communicate with the brain. It's also not always forever, meaning right after surgery, a person may feel full after only an ounce or two of food. Do you know what that looks like, by the way? An ounce or two of food? An egg is approximately an ounce and a quarter, depending on the size, of course. I often liken this to a newborn baby. When you bring a newborn home, you don't automatically give them the size equivalent of a Big Mac and French fries. They start with formula or breast milk and then kind of slowly move into little bits of soft baby food and then slowly into little bits of solids, one new thing at a time, and slowly into more substantial meals with a variety of foods and so on until a Big Mac and fries is possible. Not that I am, promoting a Big Mac and fries, but I'm saying like the size equivalent to that. So the same is true after surgery. We aren't meant to just eat the size of an egg 3 times a day and that's it for the rest of our lives. We start with fluids and very slowly continue to increase in both volume and consistency until we're able to consume appropriate needs of an adult person. Ideally, during that time, we're kind of learning how to properly nourish our bodies. Like you're relearning how to take care of yourself, how to nourish your body appropriately so that we reach our goals, our needs, and then we don't keep pushing to overeat and eventually exceed them, putting us at risk for weight gain again. The weight loss meds are similar in that for many people, the decrease in appetite and desire for food is so significant that people tend to naturally end up in a really significant calorie deficit and they don't lose their minds because of it. Like they don't get so hangry that they're like ready to stab somebody for food because of the mechanism of action of the drug. However, this is also a drawback, of course, to this class of weight loss meds because it can easily fall into an extreme deficit and result in malnutrition if the patient is not making it a priority to meet their needs. So my point is, unless you're a bariatric patient right after surgery, or you're on the weight loss meds that significantly decreases your appetite and desire for food, purposely creating a calorie deficit higher than 750 calories at the most is probably not going to be sustainable or enjoyable, hence the wanting to stab somebody for food. 500 calorie deficit seems to be like the sweet spot of healthy weight loss. So with all that being said, once we achieve the desired outcome, now what? Bring on the pizza and ice cream. Woohoo! JK. Unfortunately, no. In order to maintain weight, we eat in a maintenance range based on our new healthy weight. It will likely be, anywhere from like 250-ish upwards of maybe 400 calories more per day, assuming activity level doesn't change as well, which is another explanation that I'll get into in a moment. But do you know what 250 calories is? Because it ain't as much as you think. It could just be a half of an avocado. A small apple with 2 tablespoons of peanut butter is about 280 to 300 calories. Many of the protein bars on the market are about 200 to 250 calories. A quarter of a cup of nuts is roughly 200 calories. A glass of wine, and I'm talking about a 5-ounce glass, which is, as I recall from my drinking days, there's no way that anyone is actually only pouring themselves 5 ounces. But the serving 5 ounces of wine can range anywhere from 200 to 300 calories, depending. And, like I said, although I don't drink anymore, when I did, you can absolutely bet that glass had more than 5 ounces in it. So if that's you too, and you enjoy a few glasses of wine once or more per week, that adds up really big. Guys, I don't say this to scare you or to make you scared of calories. I'm explaining this to equip you with the knowledge you need to approach weight maintenance with extreme caution and get rid of all those silly expectations that once we lose the weight, we're done caring about what and how much we're putting into our bodies. We don't want to go from deficit to surplus and just keep repeating the pattern. So basically, restricting, keeping our calories down so that we're in a deficit to lose weight. And then we come off the diet and we're like, woohoo, carbs, sugar, blah, blah, blah. And we kind of go right back into a calorie surplus, meaning we're eating too many calories. So the expectation that we kind of let go and ease up on all the healthy habits that we started during the weight loss process is what really kicks us right in the behind. All those healthy habits are meant to be lifelong. Remember that word sustainable? That's what we want. We want habits that are going to be sustainable for the long term. I'm going to add in the part about the exercise now. That's another expectation that we either consciously or subconsciously have. We throw ourselves into these intense workout routines during the active weight loss process. And then once we've achieved the desired outcome, we get real lax with that routine. It becomes more and more acceptable to skip workouts. And then the next thing we know, we're no longer expending anywhere near as much energy as we were. But you can bet that we're still eating the same amount of calories. So that can very easily put us right back into a surplus and thus at risk to gain weight again. These unrealistic and downright harmful expectations coincide with that pesky comparison issue as well. So often we can lose the weight and we start to feel good. We're really feeling ourselves. We get more social, which please do not misunderstand me. I am in no way saying that you have to isolate yourself from others, not go anywhere, not do anything. Isolation is actually one of the worst things that we can do for both our mental and our physical health. But we do need to be choosy about who and what we surround ourselves with. After I had my surgery and still didn't know anything about nutrition or health, I was feeling good. I wanted to go out more, get dressed up, have fun, aka partay. And that's what I mean by the fact that I learned really quickly that I could easily regain all of the weight if I didn't get my act together. Alcohol lots of alcohol, poor food choices, not making physical activity a priority, not sleeping well, chronically underhydrated, all a recipe for disaster. All because my expectation was, well, I had surgery. I lost a ton of weight. I'm good. Wrong. The same phenomenon happens with relationships all the time. I call it the love chub. You can work so hard to lose weight. You start feeling good and putting yourself out there. You meet someone. It's exciting and new. You're going out to eat a lot. You're having fun. You're staying up late, texting and talking, not getting proper sleep. The list goes on. And before you know it, all that weight found its way right back to you. Why? Because it's easy. If you're tied to these unrealistic expectations and not equipped with the truth, it is very simple to start putting weight back on. So let's talk about the real of weight maintenance and what the science actually shows about weight regain, okay? So studies consistently demonstrate that most individuals who lose weight will regain some or all of it over time. A very large review, that's the National Weight Control Registry and Longitudinal Clinical Studies, found that approximately 80% of people, 80% of people regain most of their lost weight within 2 years. And nearly 100% regain it by 5 years. I know. Aren't you so glad that you listened to the podcast today? Isn't this so inspiring? Please don't freak out. Don't change turn off the show. I promise you. This is all for your good. This is all so you know, because when we know better, we do better, right? You do not have to be in that percentage of people. And it's not completely 100% because remember, I'm going on 19 years of keeping almost 200 pounds off. So trust me, it is possible. We just have to do it the right way. You need this knowledge. You need this support and encouragement because it's the ones who get lost in the extreme, the fads, the trends, all the magical, mythical promises of easy, quick weight loss. None of that is sustainable. It's the boring, everyday, not sexy, eat right, keep your exercise up. All of those things are the sustainable, what is going to keep you out of that statistic of regaining everything. Okay. In clinical weight loss programs, the average participant typically maintains only 3 to 5% of their initial body weight loss after 5 years. So it's just, highlighting how common weight regain can be. And importantly, it's not due to lack of willpower or failure of effort. There's a lot of biological things happening there. So what is our body's physiology after weight loss? When somebody loses weight, there's a series of changes that occur in our digestive hormones. Remember, I talked about that communication between our digestive hormones and the brain. So there are all these things that are kind of happening that it's almost like your body wants to fight for that weight back because it's scared that you've gone into some sort of like starvation mode. It's called metabolic adaptation. And so after weight loss, our resting metabolic rate drops more than expected based on just the smaller body size alone. So basically you burn fewer calories at rest than someone who's like always been that weight. So if you go from 200 to 150, then you're going to be burning much fewer calories at rest than someone who has been 150 for a million years. This drop can persist for years and significantly reduce energy requirements. So, again, every person is different. This is not like a blanket, oh, this is what's going to happen and it's exactly 2 years of it or 3 years of it or whatever, but it can persist for years. The body becomes like more energetically efficient. And it's really like a survival mechanism to prevent starvation. Those hormone changes, so we have metabolic adaptation, and then we have these hormonal changes that can increase hunger. So weight loss itself triggers these changes in appetite regulating hormone. We have a bunch of different digestive hormones, right? You hear the word ghrelin a lot mentioned, especially in bariatric surgery. Ghrelin is the only one that is responsible for telling us that we're hungry. That's our hunger hormone, right? And then the opposite of that is leptin. Leptin is our satiety hormone. So that's supposed to tell us like when we're done, when we're satisfied. And then we have other satiety signals, part of which are what a lot of these weight loss meds are based off of. We have GLP-1, we have CCK, and I won't get into the weeds and all of that, but they're there, the satiety signals, okay? So when we lose weight, our ghrelin, the hunger hormone, is increased, and then our leptin and all the other satiety signals are actually decreased. So we feel more hungry, and hey, remember food noise? We're more preoccupied with food after weight loss. So that food noise is like really kind of talking to us. That also can persist for a while after the weight loss period ends. Our reward and our food motivation systems become like very sensitive. So we have these hyper palatable foods, which are high sugar, high salt, and high fat, typically referred to as those like ultra processed foods. And so that's really where the food noise starts to kick in for those things. We start to really crave them more. I hear from a lot of people during active weight loss, when they're doing great and they're like, oh my goodness, I don't even crave chocolate anymore. I don't even want the Doritos that I used to eat all the time. And then after the weight loss, when those hormones shift around, all of a sudden they're like, holy cow, why can I not stop thinking about those things? Self-control, like consistently being able to maintain those healthy habits becomes harder and harder the further out that we get from that weight loss period. There's an energy gap between what we're taking in and what we're expending. So, after weight loss, if our appetite increases, we're eating more, but then our metabolism is actually decreasing, that metabolic adaptation, then, we're not expending as much. That's creating an energy imbalance and putting us in that, calorie surplus that I was talking about. So, it kind of seems like, well, what the heck do we do then? Our body is just going to make us regain weight, but that is not true at all. Absolutely can be done. It's just more difficult than we think that it should be. And I agree with you. It shouldn't be difficult. And why do we have to go through this? I don't know. But that is what the deal is, And so if we want to maintain the weight, we have got to know these things, remember these things, and set ourselves up for success and make sure that we're staying on top of things. We cannot let go of those healthy habits and just be like, oh, well, I'm good now. And remember, friends, like I am the last person that's going to tell you that you have to live your life, the rest of your life, in complete restriction, that you can never eat the foods that you love again. Of course you can. It's just that we have to be consistent enough so that, 85 to 90% of the time, we're putting in the stuff that's actually fueling our body well, that's nourishing our body well, that our body wants to utilize. that we are taking care of ourselves more than we're not. And based on that National Weight Control Registry that follows people for weight loss over very long periods of time to study, what are successful habits of people who have sustained weight loss for a long period of time. And the main things every time are daily or frequent self-monitoring, so meaning tracking our intake, tracking our weight, tracking our activity. A couple episodes ago, I went real deep into that, so you want to go back and look for that. Structured physical activity, especially resistance training. So the recommendations for activity either remain the same or actually increase during a maintenance period. Again, we cannot pull back and be like, oh, well, I'm good. I don't have to go to the gym as much anymore, whatever. Our bodies still need that physical activity. I mean, for many different reasons, including our mental health. But purely talking about weight loss and weight maintenance here, it is so necessary for us, and especially resistance training. I think my girlies that are really scared of resistance training, especially those of you who are like me and grew up in 80s and 90s diet culture that was like we had to do a million hours of aerobics and cardio, and it was all like, don't eat at all and do all the cardio in the world. It's just not that way. That's just not the truth. Yes, we need regular cardiovascular exercise, but resistance training is so important for so many reasons, including just our longevity, like our ability to be able to have a good quality of life and for our body to continue to function well for us for the rest of our lives. So regular physical activity with resistance training. It's the bare minimum is 150 minutes of cardio and 2 days a week of resistance training. Those are like the minimum recommendations. Consistent meal patterns and protein prioritization, my friends. I know. Everybody thinks I'm a protein pusher, but there's a reason why I'm a protein pusher. So we want to be tracking our intake, tracking our weight, tracking our activity. We want to keep our exercise habits going, not back off of them. We want consistent meal patterns and prioritize the protein, guys. I don't have time we're already gonna go long here in this episode, but very quickly, remember protein is 20 something times more satiating than any other macronutrient, meaning it keeps us feeling satisfied for a longer period of time. So it helps us not to be more hungry throughout the day. If we eat 3 meals and we prioritize the protein, we get that protein in. It helps us to not overeat the other things. Not that we cannot have the other things. We most certainly should have the other things, including our carbies, but we want to prioritize the protein. Okay. We want ongoing support or coaching. That accountability factor, guys, I cannot impress that upon you enough. Accountability is so important. I always love, the people who, when I finish working with somebody, and they're the first ones to be like, okay, how can I just keep in touch with you? Is there some way that we can continue, meeting or talking just less frequently so that I still have somebody to check into and be accountable to? And I love it. I am all for it. Absolutely. My Winning at Weight Loss breakthrough session that I'm offering now, if you don't know about it, it is going to help to give you that first step to long-lasting, sustainable weight loss without the extreme fads and trends and all the craziness that we see on the interwebs today. and you will be accountable to me, and I will help you through it. So you have that option. We want to be flexible but realistic in our habits rather than doing like strict restriction. So when we're restricting entire food groups, this is hands down why these extreme diets do not last in the long term. Because who in the world wants to live, this is my little Italian heart talking here, who wants to live the rest of their lives without carbohydrates? Come on. Nobody wants that. So when you restrict and you restrict and you restrict, you feel deprived of things. And then at some point, whether you reach your goal and then you celebrate with all the carbs and it sends you back down a slippery slope of bad habits, or you never actually reach your goals because you can't stand it anymore and you say the heck with this, and then you go on like a carb bender for a while and start to put back all the weight on. Okay, this is why it's not sexy, it's not magical, it's not exciting. The magic is within us, guys. It is 100% possible. Like I said, I've been maintaining a nearly 200-pound weight loss for going on 2 decades now. This next month marks 19 years since I initially had surgery and started my weight loss journey. And all of these things that the National Weight Control Registry says are the number one ways to be successful in weight maintenance, these are all of the things that I do and that I coach my clients on doing. So to recap, we want daily or frequent self-monitoring, that's tracking our intake, our weight, and our activity. We want structured physical activity, so we do not want to back off of our exercise regimen. We want consistent meal patterns and prioritize protein. We want accountability, ongoing support or coaching, and we want flexible but realistic habits rather than strict restriction. Okay, I'm going to share that National Weight Control Registry finding long-term outcome paper that I was reading from in the show notes, as well as a couple of other weight maintenance research articles down in the show notes as well. But the bottom line is weight maintenance after a significant loss is by far the harder part of a journey. It's like I said, weight loss is in no way easy, but it is not the hardest part. The hardest part is keeping it off. And it's not because we lack discipline or willpower. It's because of the actual physiological changes that the body goes through and, hormonal change. Like there's so many different things that are happening that if you're not careful, if we don't stay on top of it, then it can be, or it can feel impossible to be able to maintain that weight loss. We have a lower metabolism. We have increased hunger. We have stronger reward responses to food. There's an energy gap that favors intake. So knowing this knowledge is power. This is to help you. This is not to scare you. Approaching maintenance with a realistic, strategic game plan. Having that game plan empowers you to fight those biological pressures and not blame yourself for them. Again, that's what I go over in my breakthrough sessions. That's what I go over in my full program, everything. So as someone who has been successfully managing the disease of obesity, if I do say so myself, for almost as long as I was actually stuck in the disease, I completely understand the expectations we have after weight loss. I do. I get it. Trust me. I still have to give myself reality checks, like when I start to struggle. And I happen to not only be a dietitian, but am also board certified in obesity and weight management. This is literally my specialty. And yet I still have to reel it back in and smack myself back into reality. It's just so easy to let our feelings and our emotions and our expectations cloud our judgment. I heard it said recently, feel what you feel, but know what you know. Feel what you feel, but know what you know. Your feelings are valid, but you know better. So if you are disappointed by unmet expectations in your weight maintenance journey, ask yourself, was this expectation even true or realistic to begin with? Do I know better? And if we know better, we have to do better. We can't let that unwarranted disappointment take over and send us down a shame spiral of regain. It's a slippery, slippery slope, my friends. Letting go can get out of hand really quickly, and then suddenly we find ourselves crying on the closet floor again because none of our clothes fit right. Right? We've all been there, I hope. Or I don't hope that you've been there. I just know that I'm not alone in that. As a professional, I take so much pride in equipping my clients with the knowledge and the know-how to lay the foundation for not only weight loss success, but an overall healthy life set up to maintain their success. Like I said, I've been maintaining a nearly 200-pound weight loss for close to 2 decades now, and it is not because I had surgery. Trust me. If there was a surgery that would magically erase the laws of thermodynamics and make it so that I could eat whatever I want and do what I want, I'd be first in line. But that does not exist. I've had to learn, and most times learn the hard way, how to keep evolving with my body and keep my weight in check. I'm not perfect. None of us are. Life happens. Weight fluctuates. But if we stay on top of it, we're able to reset, recalibrate, and bring it back into range. By the way, if you resonate with my story and are ready to anchor yourself in the healthy lifestyle that will help you lose and maintain weight, remember, my breakthrough session is your answer. You can check it out at bit.ly/win at weight loss now. bit.ly/win at weight loss now. All right, my loves. I hope this helped clarify what common expectations are unrealistic after weight loss and why it's so very easy to start gaining again. But I also hope it equipped you with the knowledge and the know-how you need to avoid those mistakes. In part 3, we're going to get into more unrealistic expectations about what life in general is like after weight loss. So until then, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time. God loves you. I love you. Have a beautiful week. Hey friend, I hope you feel empowered by this episode. If so, would you take 30 seconds to share it with another friend who needs it? Also, it would mean the world to me if you would leave a quick review for the show on Apple Podcasts. Your reviews are what helps it get seen by more people who need it. Okay, time to go show up for myself, and I hope you do the same. I'll meet you back here next week for another episode. Have a blessed day.